Getting them out the way.
All right.
I'm so glad.
So when you get out, you're going to come to our church and sing us a special?
That's a deal if I'm in the barn.
If you're what? No, you ain't living in it. If it's going to be like that.
Nah. No, none of those.
Yeah, you signed and I'm signing.
Okay, I got you. I'll just make so that you take care of it. So this is his group. Okay, yeah. This is his
No, I didn't.
All right, we are.
No, I can't even I ate one in my head.
Did I sign all of you?
We are live.
Okay.
So we still got about 5 minutes.
Live at 5. I'm so glad to know. Then the cigarettes will be out of my system too, so
I'm tired of cigarettes.
because I don't smoke it out.
But you can't come smell
Some good stuff. Yeah.
He
We're
lied,
doing a
y'all.
thing at our church called Wild Church, where we're having something special every Sunday. So you get out of here, you can come sing for us.
Yeah, you say close to Baytown too.
If you're any good. Baytown, you live off in the Baytown place?
No, I thought that's where you go towards Baytown.
Well, I live that way, but I don't.
Are you in Orange?
I ain't gonna tell you where I live because I don't show up on the porch none.
No, my
He
goodness.
lied.
But the church is in West.
Okay.
I think I've been to your church before.
I don't remember you.
I was in the group home then.
You didn't leave no offering.
I didn't have an offering. I was 15.
I'm gonna have to bake you a pie or something to show up at your door.
What's
When your wife open, tell her I did this because I love him. I like when he always say, love
Yeah,
him.
you probably haven't lived long enough.
Dr. Warner.
What's the name of your church?
It's Bethel Church.
Bethel?
BETHAL. BETHAL.
I like that.
We have one too where I live.
Y'all did like girls'
A
night.
lot of,
It is a Baptist church.
lot of
Y'all,
especially BMA Baptist church in David,
Is it?
you want to shake it right?
because
We-
Bethel
Yeah, that's him.
No, that I thought they were supposed to brought them in.
No, y'all supposed to bring them in, but whenever I do the snack stuff, I'll bring them in for you.
Okay.
But y'all supposed to do it. And they still outside so we can find them.
Yeah.
Get your people.
I have to get you.
Dr. Gordon.
Who going?
You
Who
do
going?
I do know.
I was there.
Yeah.
We went to a service one time. Y'all have like a little gym or something?
We don't have.
Or like a cafeteria.
Yeah.
You need a sweater?
But you know, that's a big. I've only been the pastor there for 3 years.
Oh, well.
It's a big church.
Well, the church building is fairly large, but
Congregation is kind
we
of
run
small.
30 or so. That's why we're trying to build.
I just got it.
That's why we're having a different big deal. Last pizza. This week we're going to have ice cream.
I have this.
Next week we're going to have some.
Y'all should do, like, some activity,
I'm gonna
like,
bring some soul over there too.
to get, like, more kids involved.
We're going to have.
Cause they bus kids, y'all bus kids, like, no.
No.
A lot of churches that where I'm from bus kids.
Yeah, we have a lot of kids around the neighborhood, and it's good. We
Add it
want
to your
kids in
town.
our church, but
Not Brady
we
and
can't
me
go
no
to church
more.
all day.
And
Gotta have prayer. But we're gonna have here in about a month. We're gonna have a free farmers market.
So they can help get whatever produce.
Yeah,
You have cards
everybody's gonna bring produce.
from their garden.
I ain't going nowhere.
But they have.
Probably about that. I did mine.
We're gonna bring
One more time next
free
weekend.
farmers market.
Yeah, buddy.
They take me for a 280. Sounds like.
Oh, so you're
in the community.
Okay. Yeah.
You got a song request?
Which one?
Church. You got a song request?
Yeah, yeah.
What you want?
In today's day.
Come Jesus, come.
Oh, by CC White. I know. I heard it every Sunday.
I do the same thing.
All right.
I need to do the sign-in.
It's time to get started, guys. It is like 3 seconds to 9 o'clock, and we're going to talk a little bit about. We're going to continue our study on relationships and stuff like that today. But we need to have what? We need to have a goal for the group. So what's our goal for the group for today?
Stay in class.
To stay in class. That's a good goal. Another goal.
Pay attention.
Not to go.
Pay attention, all of those things. Another good goal is to learn how to build positive relationships. We want to have positive relationships, right? That's kind of what we've been studying, is how to have a good positive relationship. Now, that's our goal. The other thing that we need to do today is to make sure we have our books. We have a workbook in class. And then we need to make sure that we have our sign-in sheets signed. Because, you know, by the title of it, we should understand what it's there for. It says sign-in sheet. So we need to sign in, make sure that it is legible, and then we'll be able to read it and give you credit for the class. Now, we do have a question, and I'm going to tell you, I know that at South Point you're not going to be able to participate well in that because you're over there. But we're going to have a question every day, and so every other group will be able to better participate in it. But the other groups to be able to say, well, I didn't know that, and stuff like that. So this morning, our question is, how much does the average cloud weigh? How much does the average cumulus cloud, and a cumulus, as you look at it, is the cloud that goes way up, big old white fluffy cloud. Now, y'all don't want to answer it now. Just think about that for about a minute. How much does the average cumulus cloud weigh? And there is a prize for the person who gets it. If you get it exactly right, there is a prize.
Now you know something.
So do we give it in pounds?
Say it again.
Do we name it pounds? Ounces?
Pounds, ounces, whatever you think it weighs. I mean, it's a cloud, for goodness sake. Everybody here, and everybody at South, I am almost absolutely certain, have weighed a cloud before.
I think it doesn't weigh anything.
I said we're not going to do it now. See, following instructions is something we need to study tomorrow. So, all right, here's the deal. I want to know how to develop a positive relationship. Why?
Because they're healthy.
Well, yeah, they're healthy. I want a healthy, positive relationship because we just learned yesterday that a healthy, positive relationship is going to help my recovery. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to be in a bad. What does a bad, negative, ugly, goofy, stupid relationship? What does that cause in your life?
Relapse.
It's called stress. Yeah, you're gonna look. Relationships are stressful even at the best of times, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're always stressful. But look, a bad relationship is going to be really stressful, right? Mm-hmm. And stress is going to do what to us?
Make us gray hair.
It can make you have gray hair. It can make you sick. It can make you all sorts of things. The right amount of stress can cause you to have a heart attack, cause you to have a stroke, cause you to have all sorts of bad health issues in your life, right?
It gives me panic attacks.
They do what?
It gives me panic attacks.
It gives you panic attacks? So it's a good thing not to have a whole lot of stress in my life. So if I want to get the stress out of my life, I need to have the right type of relationship. what sometimes, look, we've been studying it a little bit, but we get involved in the wrong type of relationships a lot of the times. What does that say about us?
That part.
Our
Yeah.
paper's broke.
That part.
We may be.
What we looking at, what we think of ourselves a lot.
Yeah, we may be not looking. We may have an idea that we're a little bit less than. We may not think of ourselves as positive, high people. We may have a poor self-image of who we are. We may be looking at our
that don't demand much from.
Yeah, and so that's a good point. We're looking for people who don't demand much from us. But we should be looking for someone who is at the same level or higher than I am. Have a good emotional standards, have good physical standards, have good moral standards, all of those kinds of stuff. And it's not because we think that other people are less than, but we know that if we get into a relationship with some of those people, we're going to have a bad time of it, right? We want to get into a good place. So here's some of the ways to develop healthy relationships. Is that important for us to know? Yeah, and look, I'm going to tell you that most of these things are common sense, and we probably already all know this. It's not really about knowing something. It's about enacting something, putting whatever we know into practice, right? We need to be doing that. So what's the picture on the wall depicting?
Mood swings.
Yeah.
This is us. This is the individual. This is you. This is me. This is everybody over at South. This is just a person. Now, if you'll notice, there's a whole lot of other people out around that person. And they're just little bitty, they're heads, but they're different, of different colors and different shapes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's just terrible. The different shapes and different colors and different things. So what's that indicating?
Personalities.
Well,
people in our lives. People in our
lives. Yeah. You're going to run into a whole lot of people, and the people that you allow to be relational with you in your life on any level are going to stay with you for the rest of your life.
Who is this?
I don't know who that is.
I mean, is it
Are those our girls?
I don't know if that's a girl.
Bart Simpson.
That's just a person that happens to be in this person's life.
But do they have long hair?
Oh, it's not who's in our head.
Say it again.
My bad. Never mind.
Oh, I thought it was emotions. I
thought it was.
These are people, and the reason that we've got the people up here is that the people that you allow in your life on any level, you never forget. They're going to be there. In some instance, those people can always be brought back up. And they hide in this little place up here. It's called your hippocampus. And in your hippocampus is in your temporal lobe. And it's just a spot in there that God put in there so that your memories of people and things that you've done with those people will forever and ever be there. What does episodic mean?
It's pure. It's not. It's just in spurts. It's not like a continuous thing. It's just in episodes.
Just an episode? Okay. And in this instance, it means things I've done with those folks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If I have a friend named Mary, and last week I had coffee with Mary, that's an episodic memory. So I'm going to remember that. So if over here somewhere when I was 16 years old, I kissed Melody Jackson, I still remember that.
First girlfriend.
Yeah, I still remember that. Yeah, because I kissed Melody Jackson right on her face, and she looked at me like she was seeing a roach. And I always remember that. When I think of Melody Jackson, I feel a little roach-like. But all of these people are stuck up there, and here's what that means. We need to be cautious. We need to be a little more demanding about the people that we get in our lives, because these people, when they get in our lives, what are they?
Memories.
They are a memory, and they are in our lives for how long?
Forever.
Forever, and they can change your life.
Yeah.
You get some people in your life for 30 minutes, and they can change your life in 30 minutes. And most of us have people in our lives that we get stuck in our hippocampus up there in our lives, like you said yesterday. A good relationship lasts a week. So if we've got somebody that lasts a week in our lives, and we do that, numerous times, then we're going to have a whole bunch of people that are stuck in our hippocampus, and we can't get rid of them. Other things get stuck in there too. If you ever go, and I know there's a fella at South that every time I tell him this, he goes, and I know he's going to do that today, but that's okay. But if you view pornography, it gets stuck right here.
Oh yeah.
And it never, ever goes away. Yeah, it stays right there. It will never go away. Just like anything traumatic that happens in your life is going to get stuck up there. It's going to be a traumatic memory that's going to get stuck up there. That's the driving mechanics behind PTSD. You can't get it out of there. It's stuck there. Okay. And so you have to do something to learn to live with that, because it's stuck there in your hippocampus, and we can't get it out. Yeah. So we need to make sure. I went through all of this stuff up here that doesn't speak to relational things at all, just to say that relational things are important, because they can get stuck in your mind and you can't get rid of them. And they can cause us to have feelings about ourselves that are not true. We can feel less than. We can feel our self-esteem can get low. Our self-worth cannot be what it ought to be, because this person here said, see, that looks like a nasty person. That person right there said something nasty to us. And so it's still there years and years later. This guy here had something, said something that was inappropriate or nasty or something to me, and then for the rest of my life, I'm expecting other people to say something nasty or inappropriate to me. This person here said something that made me feel worthless for a minute. Oh. A lot of our parents do that. You'll never amount to anything. That's poor parenting skills, but a lot of times we use that trying to get our children in line. If you don't stop doing it, you ain't never going to be good for nothing. We say that 4 or 5 times, and guess what?
You didn't believe it.
Yeah. Kids growing up, and he said, well, I might as well, because, I ain't never going to be nothing. And so that gets hidden up here, and where it shouldn't bother us at all. It shouldn't be a big deal at all, but it becomes a big deal because I get it in my believer and I believe it. And now I think I know it, but I don't know it. I just believe it. And if I believe it, that affects me, right? So this is a big old reason we need to understand that words mean things, so that when I say something to somebody, ought to be uplifting instead of tearing down, right? So we need to have the type of relationship that's going to be supportive of me, not a rescuer of me. I don't need to have somebody that's a rescuer coming in trying to fix me, because I'm going to tell you something. You can't fix me.
That's right.
I'm unfixable as far as you're concerned. You can't fix me, and I can't fix you. So we need to have a relationship that is positive and is going to do things to try to what?
Build me up.
Build me up. Yeah, and not tear me down. Y'all remember the old rock and roll song that said "Build me up"?
Sing.
Build me up, buttercup, don't let me down. Yeah, I'm older than y'all. I'm older than y'all. So here's some of the ways that we're going to develop those positive relationships. So work on yourself first. Y'all get a hold of that?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Get
Worry
better.
about
Get
yourself.
yourself better
Just
before you can take care of somebody
Yeah,
else.
you
Or
need to
help
get
or be
that.
somebody else.
Yeah, that's a good, get yourself better. Take care of the plank that's in your own eye before you try to get rid of the speck that's in somebody else's eye. Take a look at yourself, get ourselves better, right?
Yes, sir.
We want to get ourselves to where we're on a good plane with ourselves first. We need to feel good about who we are. And how do you what's the first thing you need to do to begin to feel better about who you are?
Getting sober.
Getting sober. Oh yeah. Man, that's a great goal.
I think you need to reflect on yourself.
Reflect on yourself.
Love yourself.
Love yourself. What did you say?
I said that was what I was saying. Love yourself.
Love yourself, and she just jumped over and took your thing. Yeah.
Forgive yourself.
What you?
No, I didn't say. I was cross talking.
Okay. You were cross talking.
I'm sorry.
So what is she doing? She's improving herself by being honest.
Taking accountability.
Forgive yourself.
Forgive yourself. All of those things are absolutely true. We need to be doing that. But what's the one basic thing that we've been saying in this group for the last 27 years?
Be honest.
Be honest. We said that, but there's something else.
Self-care.
Unselfish. I don't never ever teach you that, but I'm sure that's true.
Self-care.
What is it?
Belief system.
Self-care. We need to have good self-care. We need to use.
It's not belief system. This ain't the time for that.
I'm gonna
Ask
tell
the
y'all
question
this.
again. What's the question one more time?
I'm gonna tell y'all this one more time. What do we need to do to make sure that we are getting to the place we
boundaries.
Set boundaries? That's great.
Darn.
That's something we need to do. But I'm going to tell y'all this one more time. I never in the whole history of the whole today going to tell you again. We need to have positive self-talk going on about us.
Self-affirmation.
Positive
You tell me again.
self-talk. Positive self-talk. So she's showing she don't have a chance because she's being what? Manipulative. He manipulated me into saying it again. But we need to be, look, we talk about ourselves all the time. We do. We talk about ourselves. And if we're going to talk about ourselves, we need to talk about ourselves in a positive way so that we can begin to lift our self-esteem to that place where somebody else who has high self-esteem and who is a positive individual would be attracted to us.
Mm-hmm.
I want to tell you that things attract people to other people. That is a whole lot more than just looks and the fact that you don't smell bad.
You're confident in yourself.
Right? Confident in yourself. That's a really good thing. So if I'm using positive self-talk, what am I going to say to help myself get to being a confident person?
You the bum digger.
You're worthy.
Well, that makes you a worthy person. What makes me a confident person?
I'm confident.
I am a confident person. That's positive self-talk. I'm a confident person. I'm a confident person. Somebody says, "Can you do that?" Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is, I can do all things
Through Christ
who strengthens me. I can do that. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I'm smart. I can handle that. I can do that. I am a very confident person. Do I make mistakes? Do I mess things up? Yes, but what do I do? When I mess something up, when I make a mistake, what do I do?
Try to fix it.
What I do?
Try to fix it.
Try to fix it? Yeah. What if I can't fix it?
You blame somebody else.
She said, blame somebody else real quick. It was like that when I got here. Look, no, we need to be honest, but we're going to fail and all of that kind of stuff. But what we're going to do, if I'm a confident person,
keep doing it.
I'm going to learn from my mistakes. If I break something, then I know that if I do it that way again, what's going to happen? I'm going to break it again. Yeah, I want to tear it up for real now, so I'm not going to do it quite that way again. And I've done that in my past. I've done something on the computer or something and it not work. And I say to myself, try that again. But it didn't work the first time. But well, maybe it will. Maybe it will this time. It's like when the TV don't come on, something happening and the TV goes on, and my wife's sitting there going, pushing the button, pushing the button, pushing the button. And I said, honey, give me that clicker. She handed me the clicker, and I pushed the button, push the button. If it don't work, it don't work. We've done all that we technically know how to do. Push the button, and it's supposed to come on. Yeah. See, there's somebody like that that's brilliant that comes along and says, check the battery. Something like that. So we need to first work on ourselves. We need to make sure that we are who we are and we are who we want to be. And I'll tell you this, that everybody in the world, including all of us in both classes this morning, have a desire to be better than we are right at this point in time. Now, I have been in meetings with people who were living in a $5 million home, had a brand new Cadillac, and I'm sitting there looking at this person, and they're telling me that they somehow need to get better than who they are. So it's not about money, it's not about position, it's not about place. It's about the desire for the human being to get better with the human experience. We want to be better than we are. Everybody wants to be better. So we work on ourselves because we attract, and we are attracted to people who are about as healthy and as stable as we are. So yeah, that's pretty bad, huh? So if you're unhealthy and you're not stable, you're going to be attracted to people who are equally as unhealthy and as unstable as you are, which is not a good thing. If that's who I have girls tell me in the past, well, I'm attracted to bad boys. I like him because he ain't got no sense at all. Yeah. He broke into the store and he ride a motorcycle down there and he trying to run from police, and I just like that. That's because that's the level you're at.
Yeah.
That's the level you're at. Yeah. So if I bring my level up a stance or 2 or 3 or 9, then I'm going to be attracted to someone who's at a different level.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes that comes with maturity. Yeah. It does. Sometimes that comes with, when I'm 20, I'm attracted to this type of person because that's the type of person I am at 20. But at 40, I'm attracted to this type of person. So sometimes maturity does that. So work on yourself. We attract, or we're attracted to people who are as healthy or as stable as we are. These people are like our mirrors. Yeah. When we look at that person, we can see us. Why do you think we do that?
Comfortability.
Say it again?
Comfortability.
Okay.
So you think
we
want
to
to
relate
see
to
your
that
bad
person in some way, or we want to.
Yeah, I'm a little scared.
To show who
I'm a little. There's either one or two things going on. I don't really want to get somebody into my life that's on a higher station than I am, in a better place physically or mentally or spiritually or morally, because I feel like they are better than I. And so therefore I don't know that I get to that level. If I have somebody in my life that is way less, then I'm a rescuer, and I'm trying to do something to fix that person, which is also not a good deal, right? That's not a good plan. So, to attract healthy people, what must I do?
Be positive and healthy.
I must be a healthy person.
confident in yourself.
A healthy person is confident in themselves.
Or at least going down the
Usually,
right track.
right? I need to have all those. I need to be confident in myself, right? So, what can you do?
Be positive.
Say it again.
Be positive.
Be positive.
Have self-love.
What else is it?
Have self-love.
Have self-love. Okay. I was looking. What was that?
Positive self-talk.
Positive self-talk. Oh my gosh! If I want to move myself up, I need to be positive in my talk about myself. Yeah, when you talk to somebody, do they usually use positive self-talk about themselves?
No,
No, why not?
because they're self-conscious.
Yeah, they are self-conscious, and people feel like they're bragging.
Mm-hmm.
People feel like, people are not going to want to be around me if I'm bragging and all of that kind of stuff. But I will tell you this, usually, who do we talk to the most? Ourselves. And if I'm talking to myself, look, I'm not trying to convince you that I'm a confident person. I don't care if you think I'm a confident person or not. I'm trying to convince who?
Yourself.
Me. So usually, people tell me, well, I'm not going to walk around telling everybody I'm perfect. Okay, don't. You don't have to do that, but you need to be saying that to yourself. When you get up in the morning and you're looking in the mirror, you need to be talking to you and say, I'm a confident person. I'm not only a confident person, I'm a good person. I'm a healthy person. You know what? I'm a sober person. That's right. We talk about quitting the cigarette smoking and all of that stuff. As the cigarette is going to your lips, you say, I don't smoke. And after a while, that's going to become a mantra that gets into your brain, and you just won't smoke after a while. It will cause you to quit smoking.
Really? Just a second?
Positive self-talk works. You will become a more confident person. You will become a more positive person. You will become better at all the things that you say you're better at. Now, does it work for everything?
No.
No, why not?
Yeah.
Oh, so y'all changed your mind on that.
If it can work for smoking.
It works for most things, but here's the deal. If you're walking along and you're self-talking and you're telling yourself, I'm a good brain surgeon.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're good.
But you hadn't been to brain surgery school. You're not a good brain surgeon. You can't talk yourself into being a brain surgeon. You can talk yourself into being more confident.
That's how we get
You can talk yourself into being more positive about who you are, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to be a brain surgeon, you can say, I can go to medical school. Yeah. How old is too old to go to medical school?
There is no age.
You go to medical school. The oldest person in medical school, I looked it up the other day, is 70-something. Now, it's not recommended because, see, those people don't understand what old is. They say, how old is too old? They say, no, we know people who are 40 years old and go, I got underwear that's 40 years old. Yeah, come on. So, what we can do, the very first thing we can do is start speaking well about ourselves. And start speaking well about ourselves to ourselves. Because remember, you're not trying to convince the world that you are somebody special. You're trying to convince yourself. Because the whole world's been going around telling you how bad you are, and now you have to counter that by telling yourself that they were wrong. Because there's people in your life right now, some of these people who are out here, that are really willing and able to tell you how bad you are.
Yeah.
They don't need your help. Y'all don't strike any matches or anything back there? That lady's got so much oil and stuff on her, she's going to explode. Man, the things we do to keep us from paying attention in class.
I'm going to go to the bathroom and go to the toilet.
Yes, go to the bathroom. You've been in group for a half an hour, you must go to the bathroom. All right, so here's the other thing. Look in reasonable places. What does that mean?
Like
Look for relationships and look for good, positive, high quality relationship in reasonable places. What did you now look? I don't want you to tell me, but just think about it. Yeah, think about where the last relationship that wasn't any good that you were involved. Where did you find those people?
My house.
Somebody, yeah, I've had people. I found somebody. I met this person online. Is online a good place to meet anybody?
It could be, possibly.
Where?
Possibly.
No, there's no good people.
Particularly if you go wander up to the bar just to listen to the music, the people in there.
They could catfish you. Oh my.
People look. She said some people just wander up to the bar to listen to music or play pool or something. All of those people are lying to you. Yeah, go to the library or to a coffee shop or to a museum or to church or someplace where there might accidentally be a good, positive, confident person stumble in there.
What about a mental hospital?
Yeah. At the hospital?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't go to the hospital. Let's sit there.
Church. People are sick.
So the first thing you meet somebody in the hospital, the first thing you ask them is what?
A mental hospital.
What you got?
A mental hospital.
How long you reckon you gonna live?
That ain't good either.
They just have psychological problems.
What's your name? What's your diagnosis?
So look in reasonable places. Just said, look. Don't look for bread at the hardware store. If you go to the orchard looking for oranges, okay, you go to the orchards and you're in the orchard and you're looking for oranges. How many oranges you gonna find?
A lot.
A lot.
Depends on if they're in season.
You're gonna find a whole bunch of oranges in the orchard.
Maybe.
If you happen to be in an orange orchard, but if you happen to be in an apple orchard, are you gonna find any oranges? No. So you don't go to the hardware store looking for a loaf of bread either, do you? No. You've got to go where positive people are.
A grocery store?
So maybe so. I don't know. There's all sorts of people in grocery stores because even sick people get hungry. You know, find out where positive people are and go there. Right? Just look in reasonable places. You won't find healthy people in unhealthy places or get healthy love and relationships from anyone who doesn't have it to give. This is why, look, we tell people all the time. People don't listen, but we tell people all the time. Don't fall in love in a treatment facility.
Oh no, it's bad.
Yeah. That's a bad thing. You know, don't do that. You're looking for healthy people, and you know, if you're in a place where there's not healthy people, then there's not healthy people in that place. Right? One of the other things that's really important for you is that you be yourself. You know, one of the reasons that relationships don't last all that long is because people put their best foot forward. What does that mean?
Show them all they good and
show them all of the good things, all of the positive things, and beyond that, all of the things that you think that they might like to see. And then when you get to a place where it's, you know, as you've been in the relationship for a week or a year or a month, whatever it takes, you show them your real you, and they don't like that all that much.
Dr. Jekyll.
Right? So you need to right off the bat be who you are.
be other.
Yeah. Because if you're not showing them who you are, what is that?
Manipulation.
It is manipulation, and it's also it's just a plain lie.
Yeah.
You're telling them things, showing them things that you're not supposed to, that you really aren't. You know, you need to be able to do that. That's like lying on your resume. They had that guy. I can't forget it. I can't remember his name. He was a senator, and they got rid of him. It was something else. Anyway, he lied on his resume. He said he went to this college. He didn't go to that college, and he had done this, and he had done that, and he didn't do any of that. But they hired him on the strength of his resume, and then after a little while, they figured out that he can't do this job. Then they looked into his qualifications, and he did have them. And so now he doesn't have the job. It works the same way in relationship. Because we show these people, this is who I really am. And 6 months later, they figure out, no, it's not. No, it's not. So to find someone who accepts you who you are, you got to let other people see the real you. You got to let them see who you really are. Because if you want them to accept you, we want somebody, if I'm going to have a relationship with somebody, I want somebody that's going to accept me. Bumps and all, right?
Yeah, good and bad.
Yeah, all of those little messy things in my life, I want them to see them, know them, and accept me for them, even with them, right?
If they see you're bad first, there ain't no way you can go forward.
Yeah, if they know, hey, this is you at your worst. Look, see, like that girl looking no, the other one. See, look, here she comes. See, yeah, there she is. So be yourself. If you put on an act, no one has a chance to know and accept you. And what's problematic about that, if you meet a person by putting on an act and stuff, you have to be an actor the rest of your life. As long as you want that relationship to flourish and maintain and to be there, you're going to have to be an actor the rest of your life, right?
Yeah.
So we don't want to do that. What's that called?
Headaches.
It causes all sorts of stuff. It causes stress. It causes panic. It causes you to be all stressed out because what if they find out?
Mm-hmm.
And guess what happened? They find out. And a lot of times, hey, you lied to me. Why you lied to me? So, we want to be ourselves. That's how we get a good healthy relationship, and just be who we are. But here's the next one is sometimes I have people say, well, I don't want to be like that, but I do want to be like that. Be picky.
Yeah.
Do you know that it's okay if you don't accept the first order that comes down the line?
Yeah.
Do you know it's okay if you don't go out with certain people?
Yep.
It's okay. You don't have to be. What? What am I trying to say? You don't have to what?
Be perfect.
Compromise.
Have everybody like you.
We certainly got that. We don't have to be perfect thing down pat, but we also don't have to be available to everyone that wants us to be available to them.
That's right.
So when someone comes and says, "Hey, I would like," okay, well, I'm not going out with you. Now, I will tell you,
be a friendly person to everybody if they're a negative person in your life.
Say that some more.
You don't have to be
you don't have to be a friendly person to everybody, because there's some negative people out there that don't want to be. And let me tell you something, y'all do know that rejection hurts, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't
But
kill.
sometimes it's necessary.
It is necessary sometimes. It doesn't usually kill people. I am a living testament to that. I've had so many girls say, "Go where with you?" That ain't, it's just a movie. Yeah, but not with you. Well, it's just, they have a thing out there now called It's Just Lunch for professionals to get a date. And they say, lunch? No, not with you. I've been rejected so many times now that, this is an expectation. So anyway, but you can be picky. Here's one of the things that we need to understand, especially in our addiction. You have a right. Y'all hear all that? Mm-hmm. You have a right to be treated well.
Yes.
You do. Everybody, we're human beings. We have a right to be treated well. So I have that expectation of anybody that I'm going to have a relationship with. If it's a romantic relationship, if it's just a friendship, if it's a family thing, whatever it is, if it's an employment thing. Because we talked yesterday about the fact that when you are working with someone or you're working for someone, that's a relationship, isn't it? And so I have a right to expect to be treated well, even with the people I work for.
Yes.
I have a wonderful boss. My boss is great, but I have had bosses in the past that felt like it was okay for them to just yell and scream at me.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
No.
No, it's not. It's not okay, and it doesn't happen as much now as it did when I was a young man. Back in the day, they did that all the time. They had a different idea about how you should treat your employees. Nowadays, it's a whole lot better than it used to be. So it still happens, but not on the same level that it used to happen. So no, I have an expectation of being treated well. If I have an expectation of being treated well, what is expected of me?
To treat others well.
I treat other people well. I try to treat other people just as well as I can because I have that expectation for myself. So you have the right to be picky, you have the right to be treated well, and you don't have to settle for less or give less in return. Right? You don't have to. Sometimes we feel like we have to accept whatever is offered. Right? Especially when relationships are in the mix. We feel like, okay, look, this person is not really who I want to be with, but if I'm not with that person, then I may not be with anybody. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'm not with that person and it winds up that I'm not with anybody, would that be okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be. It's usually not what's going to happen, because I will tell you, most people who are not connected up with anybody are looking to connect up with somebody, and you're not all that bad. So you might be able to get to a place of a healthy, positive relationship and surprise yourself. If you are exacting, what does exacting mean? I want something that is what I want. This is what I expect in a relationship. I expect that person to be all the things we talked about yesterday. I expect that person to be honest. I don't want to find out later on that you've got all these other things. What do you mean you've been married 8 times? What do you mean you have 14 kids in Colorado? I want to know all that stuff. If that person's been married 8 times and has 14 kids in Colorado, is that absolutely mean I'm not going to have anything to do with them? No, but I want to know that up front. What happened to all those other marriages? I'm going to sit down. Let's have an honest discourse about what happened to all your other marriages. How much money are you going to be able to put into our relationship if you got all these other children? Because you got to spend them some money, right? And look, if you're not willing to send them any money, do I want to be with you? No, I don't. No, I don't. They're your responsibility, right?
Right.
So be picky. You have the right to be treated well. Don't settle for less. Never get involved with someone. Listen, never get involved with someone out of pity.
Yeah.
If I don't go out with them, nobody will. There might be a reason nobody's going out with those people, right? So don't do that. If you do that out of pity, if you have a relationship with that person out of pity, what does that make you?
An enabler.
Makes you an enabler. Makes you a rescuer. It's more a rescuer than those two terms are not really. We use them interchangeable, but they're not really interchangeable. So, it makes you a rescuer because you're trying to fix that person, help that person when that person may not be.
Become like mama or daddy. You feel sorry for them.
Yeah, like you feel sorry for that, And so we don't need to be doing that, because I need to, when I'm going out with someone, I need to go out with that person because I'm attracted to that person, and I'm not attracted to somebody that I feel pity for. Right? How many folks, when you go when you go over here and you see somebody that's homeless, that's standing on the side of the road and asking for food, do you feel pity for them?
I ask them for $1. I ask them for $1.
Yeah.
I ask them for $1.
You ask them for $1?
They usually give me 4 or 5. They do.
You ask the homeless people for
Yeah, you don't know. They pull out stacks.
Let's go. Move on.
Yeah, just move on.
All right. So anyway, this is how that operation works. Whether they're really homeless, they really need the money or something like that. Some of those people are doing a big scam. Some of those people are homeless and all of that stuff. But still, because of what we feel, we do something that sometimes is inappropriate. You know, because I'm going to tell you, sometimes if you know the person, you're going to give them $1. They're going to take that $1 to the liquor store. You know, that's an inappropriate thing. You know, so sometimes it's like that. And so when we feel that pity, we want to make sure that we're not going to do something that's going to lessen us if we're going there. So here's the other thing, out of obligation. I don't want to start a relationship with someone because I feel obligated to do so. What would that look like?
Not good.
And you have no choice.
What was that?
No.
Yeah.
Like you have no choice, right?
Yeah, don't have a choice. I'm obligated. I have to go. No, you know, I told her or I told him that you would go out with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's almost like
Are you obligated? Yeah, trying to force me to. Are you obligated to go and have a relationship with that person because your mama said you would? No, if your mama said you would, you ought to be able to tell your mama you go out with him.
Yeah.
Or if your dad said, "Look, my son will take your daughter to the prom." Ain't gonna happen. I'm not going to feel obligated to do anything. All right, so don't try to. One of the reasons that we're looking for these healthy, positive people is because we usually can't change that person, right? So when we're looking for somebody to be in a relationship with, we don't need to find somebody that we think we need to change. We don't need to try to change the person. If we don't like what the person is, what do?
Get away from them.
Yeah, don't get yourself involved with that person if you don't like what that person is to begin with. And look, I've seen a lot as a pastor, I've seen a lot of that go on. Well, yes, I know that she has this, but I'm going to change. When we get married, I'm going to, okay. That's not something you don't try to change people. People don't change unless they want to. People don't change unless they choose to. Why are we in recovery?
Because we want to change.
We didn't like our life. We wasn't happy with where we were, and we wanted a change in our life, right? And so here we are working toward the change, right?
Yeah.
So we're doing something so that we can do something different. We're making our own change. But if I come up to somebody and I see them and I know, hey, they drink too much. They smoke too much. They use profanity every other breath. I don't particularly like that. It shows a low intelligence level. I don't want to be, but I think that if I'm nice, kind, sweet, and good to that person, and I can tell her or I can tell him, look, I'm going to take you out here, and we're going to do all of this stuff, and I'm going to take you to whatever it is I'm going to take you to. Then I'm going to try to change that person. That's not a good plan. You can't make a relationship with someone on their potential.
Yeah.
We can't have a relationship on somebody by what they might become.
If they're on drugs, it's always toxic.
Oh yeah, if they're using drugs, and usually if they're using alcohol and all of that stuff, it's going to wind up being a toxic situation. And everybody that you ever meet has potential, right?
That's right.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Does everybody that you ever meet reach their potential.
No.
No. And what's the problem if they are not at their highest level right now? What's the problem with you having a relationship with that person?
It can bring you down.
It'll take you back 90% of the time. Look, and that 90% of statistics are pulled out of the air, but 90% of the time or more, when we have someone go into a relationship to try to raise the other's level, before they can, the other has pulled them down. So we don't look. You can't have a relationship. Say it again.
Either they gonna pull you and you're gonna pull them, but majority of the time they'll pull you.
You're gonna go down. You don't need to get into a relationship where you have to fix the other person. You can't have a relationship with someone's potential. I think that is a brilliant statement.
Yeah.
Because we do that.
I need to write that down.
We do that. We'll look at that person and say, I know what, and I've had people tell me that as a pastor. I've had people tell me, I know what they can do, but they're not doing it. I know what they can become, but they're not becoming it. I know what they can be, but they ain't being it. And they're not likely to be it. So we can't have a relationship with what that person might become. So, only with the person that exists right now, in this moment, at this time. You can't have a relationship with what they might become, so you have to look at them right now, right at this moment. If I want to have a relationship right at this moment with them, then it may be worth exploring. It may be worth taking a look at. It may be worth moving forward with a relationship. But if I'm thinking, hey, this guy here, or this girl here is going to be something great 10 or 15 years from now, go somewhere, get a cup of coffee, come back 10 or 15 years from now. Yeah. See if they've done any improvement. What one of the traps that we fall into, and one of the traps I've seen a lot of people fall into, is I think I need to be part of their transformation. I need to help them be who they need to be. I need to be there to help them transform.
You can encourage them without being.
Yeah, to encourage. Yeah, do that. Go somewhere else and encourage them from afar. You don't need to do that in a relationship with them. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we're just about got this thing. Says, look at him. Take your time. We talked about that before. Take your time. Go step by step. Have you ever? Well, I have met people who came in and said, "Would you marry us?" I said, "Yeah." Yeah. How long have you known each other? Well, we just met last Wednesday. Well, it's Thursday. Yeah. But we love each other.
It's better than a week.
I said, yeah, okay, yeah, come back. We're gonna get married, but you come see me next Thursday. Let's give it a week, and then you come back. Take it step by step. Go a little bit. See, I don't marry somebody unless you sit in my office and we talk and we do all that kind of stuff, do a little counseling, all of that kind of stuff, and So, just take it step by step. Don't try to jump in and be cautious. Check the other person out as you go. If you're going to, how many folks have ever hired somebody come work for you or work for? Look, what did you check them out?
No, you say
You saw references.
It would be my sister. We used to pay her to wash my dishes.
Well, when you go to work in the field here, when I came here and I said, look, I had to bring them a resume. They took my resume. They checked on all of the places I used to work. They checked on my educational stuff. They checked on all of that, make sure I really did go to college, all of that kind of stuff. They checked on everything. But we see somebody with devastatingly blue eyes and got a good voice, or just look good and smell good and all of that kind of stuff. And in 15 minutes, yes, I'll go somewhere. Yes, okay, we don't check out anything. Is it okay to check somebody out?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm an honest person. I'm gonna tell you this. If I'm gonna ask you out, I'm gonna talk to you, and we'll get we're getting along pretty well, and I think we might move forward on this. We've known each other for maybe a day. I'm gonna tell you, look, I think you're pretty neat. I think you're pretty special. I'm gonna check you out. Is it okay with you that I, kind of check you out, do like maybe a little, you can do a free background check. It just shows whether or not you're a mass murderer or something like that. Is that okay with you? Would you feel all right with that? Do you think that would insult somebody?
Sometimes.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes people, what? Before we go to movies, you want to check me out? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that all right? Some people say, well, if they're thinking the same thing you're thinking, give them the website and say, here, check up on me, see who I am before we go out. We don't do that. We go by everybody's word. Yes, I'm the most wonderful person that you have ever met. I am destined to be the love of your life. So everything is wonderful. And then they had, the fact that I've killed 3 people, I don't really, I don't play into it. So we might not want to do, we might not go and do an official background check, although I don't see anything wrong with that. If my daughter is going out with somebody, I want to do a background check on them and all that kind of stuff. But if we don't do that, we can ask our friends who know them. Or we can ask their friends who know them. Or we can talk to somebody about them.
Give me 3 references.
Yeah, get 3 references.
I'm just saying, internet to find a whole background.
Yeah, I want to know a little something about you before I, I'm not gonna, just jump into anything.
I like it when you call me big pop. Oh,
I had no idea what you said.
no, you don't need to know.
Okay. All right. So get feedback. Seek out someone you see has a good relationship skill and has some wisdom that you trust. Get their reaction to what's going on in your relationship. Do we ever do that? Sometimes, we go ask mama, we go ask dad. Sometimes we'll ask brother and sister and stuff, but usually we get offended when somebody tells us you ought not be with that girl.
Yeah.
You ought to leave that guy alone. We get offended. Instead of saying, okay, well, tell me why. I need to know. I don't want to get into a bad relationship. Well, that girl was married to this guy over here across town, and she shot him 3 times. Well, there might have been a real good reason for that. But we need to know some of those things. If we can know a little something about a person, it's not hurtful, is it?
No.
It's a good thing for us to be able to know a little something about that person, right? I don't want to get so deep into the well that I can't draw the bucket out in time. I want to know a little something. Look, we've all had relationships in the past that didn't turn. Well, I say we all. I'm assuming, but most of us have that didn't turn out exactly like we wanted to. Wouldn't we have loved to have a little bit of that information ahead of time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all of that. So we need to do some of that. It gets some feedback from some people. Check the other person out as you go. Increase your vulnerability and depth of involvement bit by bit as you see that it is safe to do so. Now, we talked the other day about boundaries, and we talked about that person that had the poorest boundary. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. But if somebody's going to go to the movies, you're going to take somebody out to eat or something, they don't need to know your whole life history in that one evening. Some people get nervous when they go out on a date for the first time and they get talkative and they'll tell you everything. Sometimes we don't need to do that. So look, get that feedback. Find somebody you trust. Make sure that they see what's going on in your life and they see it as a good thing. Listen to your gut. Think about past relationship choices that went badly. Think back to your inner voice or gut feelings at the time. Pay attention to any uneasy feeling. Look, if this doesn't feel right, guess what?
And then it's not right.
It may not be right. You may be just nervous, but it also may not be right. Is it going to destroy your whole relationship, destroy your whole life if you don't go out that day?
No.
And if that person that you're asking out, or if that person who asked you out, or any of these things say, hey, if you don't go today, remember the old Elvis song? Y'all remember that one? Today's the day. If it don't happen today, it ain't gonna happen. Okay, guess what? It ain't gonna happen. Bubette, you're gonna have to go find somebody else to do all that with, because we ain't gonna do nothing. We're not going to the movies. We're not gonna go past go, and you ain't collecting nothing. So at that point, what we have to do is take a 15-minute break, and we'll be back. And that's what you should do in those situations. Take a break. We taking a break. Take a 15-minute break.
Oh, gosh. Oh, we know you were running to it. Oh, Lord. We knew she was going to run into it.
Here.
Oh, yeah?
And everything in the water.
Amber,
And everything in the water.
I see how you do.
She gave me everything in the water.
No.
Sorry. Print was glad.
Oh.
I think. Oh, I don't want back. I can go back.
I jumped around with that girl last night about them cigarettes, right? She done gave 3 packs out, but told me no, I can get back when I made a joke about it. She gave Miss Billy a pack, Fallon a pack, and somebody else a pack.
Who did that?
And then I said, you can at least pay me for keeping your lock, let you put your shit in my locker. I didn't have to do that, but I was being funny about it. But you told me, no, but you still dishing packs out. That's why I said, I'm glad I don't smoke like that. I would have to slap the shit out of it. Now, so he gonna give you 2 extra years on probation. Sorry, man. But then I wouldn't, because it's like, I already said they're gonna sit down. Well, you see how it was fast and tapping. We've been doing this. That's why I picked it up and started writing. And she told me something. It's nosy. And then this one over here. Stood to watch. She was waiting on me to say it to my house. So I ain't
Somebody drank my soda.
That's been like that.
No, I didn't drink all that. I don't know what's wrong. You don't know who drank it.
Don't know who. Could have been Miss Billy put some in her.
Hold on now.
Oh, yeah. But she got that Dr. Pepper.
Girl, Miss Chastity would have called him. He said, I was following your paper right now.
Because you would have been.
So she would have
you.
She would have never known.
Thank God she called, because I was on her about calling mine.
She said,
and
she called, she left a message, and he called right back. And
She started talking to him, explaining to him, and he was like, you know what? I was just about to file your paper, but sitting here for these 5 minutes listening to Miss Norman, Jasmine, name is Norman, last name Norman, and she telling me, I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm gonna ask them. I'm gonna ask them to give you. Give you an extension on your probation. For real? And extend it for 2 years. But
What's up, girl?
again, he was like, Jasmine, this is it. He said, I had 4 of y'all under my wing. Like, they wanted,
he don't want to let y'all go. He wanted you.
Because he was like, I know what you was going through. You was going through a lot. But he was like, I can't do your probation. And he was like, you, out of everybody in this facility, you got the easiest thing to do.
Bitch, community service would have been done in a week.
Community service and pay your fee. He said, but I'm not going to hold you. You was paying it, but you wasn't paying it every, consistent. But you was paying what you can. Yeah. So I was telling him, I was like, well, my check just changed. They just went up. So, yeah, I can start, paying more. Like, paying $150.
I'm going to say 120. My probation officer would have paid 120, but I wouldn't be having an income. That's why I told you, when I get out of here, bitch, I'm keeping with you. Well, I'm keeping with you when I get out of here.
Okay, you ain't doing no fun.
I just need more time. I just need more time.
I probably can help you get a job.
Now she said that because when we talked yesterday, because I told her I was like, look, I'm gonna need help when I get out of here. She was like, what you need? The lady supposed to come back tomorrow. The women that was here, because I was asking them how. So
I told you they don't say shit about it.
Bitch. Probably not. But that's why I don't talk about a lot of stuff.
But she was right there when I got it. Yeah. She was in there still, so that girl was in there still a lot of shit. A lot of shit.
Snacks,
nails, deodorant.
Shit that's needed. Especially the D.O. bitch.
But yeah.
A hamburger.
He was like, as soon as you walk out of there, you need to be walking in here.
So they want you like me. They want someone
like me. I gotta go drop my baby off and then drop my baby off and then come up here.
Bitch. I'm trying to think.
Oh, now I might just let my baby stay with my mama until Monday.
I like you. You gotta listen to me, bitch. I wasn't tripping. I knew all I was free. She was like,
she picked up on the thing that you, the calendar. She was like, did I say you getting out on your living? I said, no, you didn't see me. I didn't know. I thought the quick thing. She was like, no. Like, I don't need to go on my pass on the set.
Because they only gonna be out of school for 2 days.
No, they go to school on the 13th. And I did I can get 2 days. Yeah, I can go to 12 to go
get
school stuff.
That's why.
And she was like, yeah, you don't have to go on your pass.
I said,
I don't have to go.
That's why I kept telling you. I don't do
you
it.
leave Friday and
I leave Thursday. I leave Thursday the 7th.
The 7th is Friday.
No way.
The 7th is Friday.
7th is Thursday, right? Yeah.
I know it
Thursday.
I know you miss them.
No.
That wasn't there? They didn't come get you. So you been sitting in the...
Who didn't come get you?
Well, they had no lights in Orange today,
So it's
they don't have lights, so there's
no court.
Yeah. No, there's court. The caseworker's there.
So what they gonna do?
I just hope she follows through.
With what she said she was gonna do?
Yeah, and calls Miss Casey with the update.
I was about to say basically.
She's gonna fuck my life up. I know she is.
So who's this new woman that's outside?
Oh, that's here.
You didn't see the little lady sitting on the couch?
No, I didn't.
They said you just here. They got a new one on the couch.
Well, she had to come in right after I had finished with my phone call. I don't know. I didn't even see it.
We gonna pray everything gonna work.
Back.
You gotta claim it too. He just got the word.
I hope she doesn't make me do like a phone call on. I don't want to call my kids on the phone.
On Zoom, on the little Zoom shit.
I don't want to do that. I want to see them in person.
They gonna
I need to see them in person.
That'll make you feel better.
That'll give you closure that you need to keep pushing.
Yes.
Like, you just gonna get in trouble. Leaving it in your own table, bitch.
I was gonna eat it.
No, I just started smelling it, and it was just like,
I don't want to do group. I want to let it.
tell her you're not in the mood. Tell Miss Cynthia that you're not. That you need time to yourself. You need to process your shit. That's what I do. Look, I ain't feeling today. Can I please have a moment in my room?
I wonder what you remember. Y'all we signed. I mean, we did that thing where we asked for clothes. You know, I wonder when we get that.
I wonder if somebody will come today.
I don't know. But that lady
I'm
came
so upset.
Tuesday to do the lights. You know, she's the one that did the papers, right? The rest of
Why you ain't there? So what?
yeah, I forgot. I will Tuesday if she comes.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna make him.
You see my jeans?
I think I like it.
I got a week.
I feel it.
I got a week to go for 2 bitches.
I got 4 weeks. No, I got more than 4 weeks. Oh. Okay. Today's the 31st.
Yep.
So I got a whole month, okay? So I leave on the 4th of September.
Let's go from.
August has 31 days.
Yeah, 31.
So I got 31. I got 30,
Exactly.
34 days.
Damn. You at the 45?
I'm gonna do 145.
Why?
I don't know. She said September 4th, and I've been here since July 18th. July 18th. So that's like a lot of days.
You've been here 2 weeks, then
Yeah.
And
How long have you
as soon as I get in the car, I'm going to see.
Like, right. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks that I've been here.
I'm gonna come visit you.
Yeah. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, make sure I'm gonna let you know. I gave you my number, right? I gave you my phone number.
You're seeing me. Oh.
She's like,
Oh, I got it. Oh, you're going to one place? Oh, we're going to go
you see,
That's what's up. I'm ready to go. I'm telling y'all. They
I'll
had good
take
stuff.
okay.
I mean,
Not my
chili
real-
dog was good.
Not my real.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's super cute. Where'd you get
I'm
that?
loving that blue
I love that.
I know, I love it too.
That's my
It's
favorite
super
color.
cute.
Don't try to sub me. That's my favorite color.
I know, Billy gave it to me.
Oh, man. That's what's up.
She tried
You
to
remember the
change
guy
shit.
that he always wore sweaters on TV? Because I told him when I
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah. No, I told him.
You better not, bitch.
I'm sorry.
Bitch.
Hey, I lost my black cup. Everybody, I lost my black cup.
You ain't lose your black cup.
Where'd it go? That's my room.
Go check your room.
I did. My room
Check the
was
laundry room. Check the
I didn't
kitchen.
use it.
Check the kitchen. Cause y'all like to leave stuff on the table between the chickens.
There ain't nothing.
Almost definitely gonna be the one to do that. That's why I make my. Jens, don't pop that coke open like this no more.
Yeah, I drunk out my other one.
I ain't drink out of it, but I sure won't. Lord bless my mouth. I'm calling
One of y'all drunk out my shit.
it wasn't nobody. Jens, you ain't get.
We got a new girl.
Oh, my bad. We do? She bad?
She almost look like me. She
Like she Creole or something? Oh.
No, real quick.
Yeah.
They changed y'all time? Y'all leave for 10 though.
1 minute.
It's like regular court, but there's
I was
one
gonna
that's
go
big.
with.
I was going to catch it.
It's not court, but it's drug court. You
So
know.
what y'all doing now?
I was gonna say, same thing we do at Real After this time, but you know, it's we go in there, we tell them how many, we tell
So y'all like school?
no, we just like, you know, we turn around and tell everybody how many days clean we have.
Oh no.
Um,
I got 35 days school.
I got 31 days. You win. When do you have to? Because my Friday next July 1st. My 30 days was yesterday.
I'll have 60 days on the 17th next month.
Mine's the first. October whole week. I had a long period of time until
No, it's CJ. Oh, do we really? My name's CJ. I need
Is
to
she in house?
It's a little better if I had a white shirt underneath.
We don't have nobody in our room. We got one.
Now you got that song in my head.
You didn't wear your shirt. Whatever.
She in there with y'all.
That's
Sleepy.
Not the only one that only got 2 windows.
Yeah, you ain't got no room nowhere.
All other rooms got 4.
There's no beds nowhere.
Besides 3, but
They gonna have to clean that out. Move right in time too.
I really just take care of this place down.
I can't get through here.
Oh, I'll be gone. I'm not able to sign if they want to do
So,
that.
Mr. DeGarner, what is this though? That's when you were saying the things people.
Yeah, that's a person. These are the people that are connected.
Oh, that's a
Anybody have to
face. I
share?
thought it was a T.
Eyeball, nose, and a mouth.
Yeah,
He's the blockhead, all right.
that's what it was.
So
And he's got a
we're back.
hippopotamus in his head. Yeah, I thought
Let's say, look,
one of them looks like Shrek on his top.
So we're back, and we have a question before the group, but half of the group is not back in here yet. I'm sure that everyone is back and in their place over at South. And if you know the answer to the question at South, then you can write it down on a piece of paper, give it to Miss Kim over there, and she'll give it to me when I come over there in a few moments. And you will be eligible for the prize. There's going to be a prize associated with the answering of the question. So the question is, and we're not going to ask the question yet, but we can be reminded of what the question is, but don't answer it right now here at North until we get the rest of the group in here. But if you know it at South, go ahead and write it down and give it to Miss Kim. The question is, how much does a cloud weigh? A cumulus cloud, the one, not a storm cloud, but those big white clouds that look like pillars up in the sky, those things there. So don't answer it yet, but be thinking about it. We're going to continue, and we're going to ask it here in the next few minutes. We're going to answer it here in the next few minutes. We just need to make sure everybody gets an opportunity because there's a prize associated. So let me ask you this question. Who are you willing to give your car keys or your house keys to?
A good friend. Nobody.
you got 2 people. You got one, you better be his wife.
Yeah, my wife already has keys to my house. My daughter has the keys. My son has the keys. All of those kinds of things. But that's who you are willing to have a relationship with. Someone that you're willing to let in your life to the point that you give your keys to your car, keys to your house, keys to your life with. We need to understand that when we make a relationship, these are the things that we're doing. When we're getting a relationship started with somebody, this is what we're doing. We're allowing that person to have intimate entrance into our lives. So this is why we need to be careful. So we need to be people who have the power to choose. We do. Who we let in our lives and who we don't let in our lives. So it's easy to exercise power as it is to give that away. So I can exercise the power in my life. I can say that you can come into my life and you can have the keys to my car, to my house, to my life. Or I can say I have the power to say that you cannot. When I'm building healthy relationships, and we've already heard this, I'm going to just go through it real quickly. We need to first be realistic. We need to be realistic with what we're doing. We need to be first realistic in our perception of who we are. We need to know who we are. We need to be realistic in that and in who others are and the relationship. Don't expect perfection from anyone or that any one person, and we've already talked about this yesterday, but no one person's going to be able to meet all your needs, correct? And you are not going to be able to meet all of theirs. So here's the things that we have to have when we're going to get started. We're going to make sure that that person and that I can respect them and they can respect me. That's foremost. We need to make sure that there's going to be in place the ability to give forgiveness for mistakes. One of the things that you need to realize is that you are having a relationship or about to have a relationship with another human being. And if you have a relationship with a human being, what's going to happen? Mistakes. They're not going to do everything perfectly right. So the other thing that you need to understand is you're not either. We're not going to be perfect in this thing. So not only do we have the capability to forgive their mistakes, we want to make sure that they are open to forgiving some of the mistakes that we might make. Because we are capable of doing that. We have an acceptance for who they are, and we have an acceptance for who we are, the good, the bad, and the indifferent. Because you have a lot of good things in your life, don't you? You have a lot of good qualities. We are good people. We have a bad disease, but we're good people. You have a lot of good in your life. You have a lot of good to give. But there's some bad off in that too, right? There's some bad stuff in your life as well. There's also some things that just don't matter. There's some things that, just are indifferent. They don't make it, they're not going to help the relationship, but they're also not really going to hurt the relationship. They just really don't matter. So, one of the things we need to do, the intimacy, the degree of intimacy in a relationship is determined by the degree of sharing. And we've talked about this a little bit. If you want to have a deep relationship with someone, you need to be willing to share with that person. You need to be really willing to communicate with that person. We need to, if we're going into a relationship, if we're not sure whether or not we are communicating on a deep enough level, what should we do? Ask a question. Ask. And this is important really for guys to understand. Some of the times we as men don't communicate as deeply as we should. And we should, if we're going to have a relationship with someone, we should be willing to go to that person and ask. And do you feel like we are communicating on a deep enough level? Are we talking enough? Are we just communicating enough? Are we talking about this, that, and the other? My wife and I have been communicating a lot here lately. We're going on a vacation in October, and we stay in state parks. And you have to get that ahead of time. You have to get it all set up. It's best to set them up like a year ahead of time. But we're going to be setting them up like 3 months, 2 months ahead of time, which is, you may or may not make it. But every night we're talking about where we're going. So we're going up, we're going to stay in Texas one night, and then we're going up to Tennessee. Not Tennessee, what's that other? There's another. Arkansas. We're going to Arkansas, and then we're going over to Tennessee, and then we're coming down into Alabama. So it's a big old trip. So we're talking about each stop and how long it is between the stops and all of that kind of stuff. That's a form of communication. Is that a good form of communication?
Yeah.
Any communication is advantageous. Any communication is good. So we need to know that we can communicate with that person. But sometimes we need to be risk takers in our communication. What does that mean?
Take risks.
Take a risk, yeah. What do you think about this? What do you think about us doing something a little bit different? what do you think about us doing something like this? Be a risk taker sometimes in your communication. We need to do that. That helps us build trust when we're willing to take a risk with another person, right? So here, the same is true for a relationship. If you don't risk with a spouse to share some of these things, then trust is broken. See, if I have something that's going on in my life right now, and I don't tell my partner, if I don't tell my spouse, and they find out about it 3 months later after it's happened or something like that, that breaks that trust. So if you're really going to have a relationship with someone, you should be really willing to be totally open with that person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
You should be. Yeah. You have to be honest. That's how you build trust. So I want to share a couple of times with you. You know, if you're going to have a relationship, relationships are magic, right? So when you find someone you think looks good, that relationship is just going to blossom just like that, and it's just going to be magic. Is that true?
No.
No. What does a relationship take for it to become a mature, healthy relationship?
Work,
Time
honesty,
and work. And all of those things that you said, communication, all of those things. But we need to be willing to put in time and to put in work. Yeah, we need to work. A relationship, this is why we usually only have 2 to 3, maybe 4 good close friends, because friendship takes work. You have to work at that. And if you're going to have a relationship with somebody, whether it's a romantic relationship or a friend relationship or relationship at work or whatever it's going to be, then that's going to take some time to get it built, and then it's going to take some work to keep it growing, right? So time and work. Relationships take time and work, so you have to work on yourself and you have to work on the relationship. Now, I will tell you, I've been married for 52 years. That's a long time. My wife knows exactly how to look at me to make me feel a little bit weird, right? She knows how to look at me, and I will know that what I just said or I just did was not what she was expecting of me. You know, she knows that. And I know that when she does those kinds of things. But here's the deal. If we're going to get to that level of understanding with each other, it's going to take some time. That doesn't happen in a week. That doesn't happen in a year. That's going to happen over a period of time. Decades. Right? Long time. Yeah.
50-something to be exact.
Say it again so people can hear it. While you're not
50-something.
eating, you got your hand up.
50-something to be exact and counting.
Oh, yeah. I have
You've been married
52 and going forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so at 87, I think I might.
You 87 years old?
If I was 80,
He 87.
you can tell the people in the class that's not listening, because I done told her 17 times I'm 71, and then the lady said, "You 87 years old." To me, she said that. No, yeah, thank you. See, now you're trying to dig yourself. Now you're trying to dig yourself out of the hole. So work on yourself. Take the time to spend by yourself, as well as with the people you want a strong relationship with. Husbands and wives who do not take time for each other find themselves distancing from each other, and that's what happens. Because look, the wife has things that she's doing, the husband is doing things that he's doing, and they drift apart. Yeah, and this should not be so. We should whatever we're doing during the day, we should converge that day somewhere to be a couple. Yeah. We need to be a couple. So look, when we do those things, this creates a lack of trust and a feeling that they don't really know each other. So here's the ingredients Excuse me, I'm trying to drink water, but I'm all choked up over all of this. So these are the ingredients for a healthy relationship. I want to go through them, and you can just see that you have all these things. Vulnerability. What does vulnerability mean?
Making yourself being vulnerable.
Being open, being willing to let the other person see the real you, being willing to tell your feelings. You know, if you're not talking, you're not communicating. You know, if I hurt my wife's feelings, guess what she does?
Tell you.
She'll right away. Right away.
What page are you on?
Yeah. What page are we on? We are studying an extra workbook curriculum.
Oh, okay.
That means
not
it
following.
ain't in the book.
Okay.
It's my own stuff. It's not in the book.
My bad.
It's over here somewhere else. So
I wasn't following. I was like,
yeah,
I
I understand. Thank you for trying to follow along.
I thought
So just being vulnerable to the other person. Does that mean I'm vulnerable to everybody in the whole world? No, I'm not trying to have a relationship with everybody in the world. So we did say we were trying to have a relationship with our employer. Are we vulnerable to our employer?
No.
To some extent. Now I'm going to open up some of this stuff. When Mr. Farmer said, "Look, I want you to go do this," I said, "I have no idea how to get that done." He said, "Okay, we'll help you do that," and they did. Yes, ma'am.
When is it like in sobriety? When is it safe to have a relationship with somebody? Like
Never. No. How old are you?
I'm 21.
Never. You don't ever have another relationship. Y'all heard the question. The question was, when you're in your sobriety, when is it healthy to have a relationship? Now somebody else is teaching the class from the back, so I don't have to really go into it. So when is there enough time in sobriety before you can have a good relationship?
1 year.
5 years.
5 years, you said? You said a year?
A year.
A year?
When you don't make any extreme or life altering decisions.
Yeah, don't make any life altering decisions. But let me I answered her correctly. Never. It is never appropriate for you to get a relationship started when you're in your sobriety. You need to wait until you are in your recovery. Because sobriety and recovery are different things. You're just sober enough to know I would like to be in a relationship with somebody, and that's a good thing. And relationships are good, but you need to get to the place where you are having a recovery lifestyle. Look, sobriety means what? Sobriety means I'm sober. I have stopped using. I am sober at this moment in time. And every drunk, every addict that's ever quit for 15 minutes was in their sobriety. So sobriety, if we can keep it going for long enough, we go through a treatment program, we get to the place where we have changed our life, and we're in our recovery. That's when we start to. That's healthy. How long does it take you to get into your recovery? And the old adage is you get a plant, then if you can keep the plant alive for a year, then you get a pet. And if you can keep the cat or the dog alive for another year, that's 2 years, then you can look at getting a relationship with another person who is sober or in their recovery. So, at the very least. At the very least, a couple of years. You had something that.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm not good at mental life, though, at all, so I feel it's like, I've tried that. I really have tried that, and it never.
You can't keep a plant alive, or.
You and my mom have that in
I
common.
can keep animals alive, but not plants.
So what does if you kill plants? What does that tell you? You cannot ever have a relationship.
Yes,
I mean, I didn't make the rule. That's just the way it is. So we need to be vulnerable on that level where we can let people in, let people know about who we are. Wait until we are in quality, healthy real lifestyle recovery. And look, and if I'm in lifestyle recovery, what does that mean?
Your health.
That means I've done away with old people, places, and things. I've let go of the family I need to let go. I've let go of the friends I need to let go. I've let go of the places. I've let go of the activities. I've let go of the stuff that was in my life that was keeping me in that place of not being healthy. And I myself am healthy. When I have to get healthy, me, before I can start looking at healthy somebody else. So the second thing is understanding. I need to be an understanding person, and what do I need to understand? I need to understand that I'm not perfect and that person's not perfect and things can happen and all of that kind of stuff, and this may not be forever, but I want it to be forever. Usually if I go into a relationship, I want to have a long-term, healthy relationship. So I'm understanding those things. And if I don't give myself time to get into my recovery, I'm not going to be able to handle a long-term, healthy relationship. If I'm just in sobriety and I just got sober and all of that kind of stuff, I'm liable to get into any kind of relationship. I'm not looking at a long-term healthy relationship. I'm just looking at something right now. We don't need to be doing that. Need to have empathy. What does that mean?
Put yourself
Like
in
if
their
I
shoes.
feel for them, if that, feel be considerate
Feel their
of
pain.
other people's
Put yourself in
feelings.
their shoes.
Say it again.
Put yourself in someone
Put
else's
yourself in
shoes.
somebody else's place. Feel what they're feeling. Be able to empathize with that person. Be able to see what their situation is and say, yes, I can feel that feeling. That doesn't mean sympathize.
Yeah,
It's
that's a
different.
different word.
All right.
That's still the
We need to have compassion. We need to be at a place where we can say, okay, I understand that you're going to make a mistake. What are you going to do if you have a job you love and your boss yells at you?
Yell back at them.
Yell back at him. Punch him in the head. Run out the door, screaming and yelling. Steal a computer on the way out.
Throw a pen.
Have a little bit of compassion. We know that everybody in the workplace can and are able are allowed to have a bad day. We have some folks working for us that didn't get to sleep last night well, or just I don't feel all that great this morning. I'm all choked up and everything. So I need for people to have a little bit of compassion. And so we need to, in the relationship, we need to be compassionate, right? We need to have respect for one another. Let me share this with you. This makes perfect sense to me. If it doesn't to you, please let me know. But we don't need to start a relationship with someone we can't have respect for. Right? Why would you want to have a relationship with a person that you don't really respect? You don't. It would be miserable. It would be horrible. So make sure that you can respect that person, and reciprocally, that person can respect you. Right? That has to be there. We have to have trust. So how long is it going to take to rebuild the trust in your family? How long? A while. Sometimes it's never going to be done, right? Sometimes you're never going to rebuild that trust. You're not going to do it. Is that okay?
Yeah.
It's kind of nasty, but look, it's not me, it's them. If they can't trust me, then they can't. That's okay. We need to have acceptance. There are some things in a relationship that we need to be accepting of most things in a relationship. Are there some things in a relationship that you're not going to accept?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you not accept in a relationship?
cheating, lying, stealing, all of those things. You know, here's the deal. I'm in a relationship that's pretty mature, and in my relationship's pretty strong. So my wife really can't steal anything from me. Everything that I have is hers.
What if she steals your quarters out of your car?
Well,
No, he has a
Are you gonna be upset about it?
yeah, you know, but here's the thing. My sister-in-law has a business. She sells whatnots and stuff like that, and she gave us for Christmas one of those. It's a piggy bank, and it's got two pigs. Up on top of it's the little pig. Underneath it is the big pig. When you put money in the little pig, it goes through the little pig into the big pig. And on the little pig it says his money, and on the big pig it says her money. So it goes through there. It goes. So you know we have whatever's hers is hers, and whatever's mine is hers. So she really can't steal anything from me. But and I don't think she lies to me a whole lot. She did lie to me about the pork chops, and she's never been forgiven for that. Yeah, you know. But I agree with you. We don't want to have it. Some of the things that I don't want, and of course, cheating is that big thing. Infidelity, we don't want that. So when somebody says, "Look, I want to have a real close, mature, long-term relationship with you, but I want to have like an open marriage, so you can." No, we're not. No, not going to do that. We're not going to do that. So honesty, we've already talked about that. We need to be honest. Communication is a big stinking deal. We need to do that. Compatibility, is that a big deal?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a
common interest.
say it again.
To have some common interest.
Have some commonality going on. I have
Match
a
each other, match it away.
say it again.
Match each other.
Some things that match up. People tell me that, and I've heard it 1,000 times that opposites attract.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily true.
Mm-mm.
That's not true. But here's the thing: I have a couple that I know of. He is a staunch conservative, and she is a liberal. Does that work well
What's
together?
a liberal?
That's just someone who believes differently than the
Republic.
I can't think of the word now. It's someone who believes differently than the
politically though.
the other person, a liberal. These are folks who they believe in giving and there's good points in that. That's where the welfare system comes from and all that. And there's good things in that. It's good. There's good things on the other side. But these two, but they're almost diametrically opposed. And in a relationship, is that helpful?
One's a giver, one's
No, it's hard. And they fight. How often do you think they fight?
Often.
All the time. I won't say that they fight every day, but 2-3 times a day they do. So and they've been married for 10 years. I'm going, wow, that's something. So personal integrity, this is a good thing. If you are integral, what does that mean?
You do the right thing when nobody's looking.
Oh boy, that's a good way of saying it. You do the right thing when nobody's looking, and you strive to do the next right thing. Because a person who had really good integrity would not be keeping someone else in the group from getting the group by throwing little things at them and stuff during the group.
Sorry.
Wouldn't be doing that.
Sorry.
And look, we caught a lot of people because I was looking at one group and it was somebody else doing it as well. So personal integrity. And look, if you have personal integrity, that means a bunch of these other things are going to fall into line because you're going to be an honest person, right? You're going to do the right thing. And if I'm looking to do the next right thing, that's going to do that. And to be considerate to one another. Be considerate. Try to do something. Every day my wife, like I told you guys, and I'm sorry to go back to my wife all the time. That's the only thing I have. But she has some issues and she has a problem opening bottles of water. She just can't do that. And so every day I leave her 3 bottles of water. opened and ready. Is that considerate?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have to take all of these pills all the time. So instead of taking them and getting them all together at night while she's sleeping, I do that before she goes to bed, and I put them in the kitchen so that she doesn't have to. I don't wake her up trying to get the pill stuff. Is that considerate?
Yeah.
Yes, that's considerate. But look, this morning I'm halfway to work, and I remembered I forgot to open up her bottles of water.
Again?
It's 2 days in a row, Dr. Boone.
Yeah.
You slipping.
So is that inconsiderate?
Yeah.
It was pretty inconsiderate of me because I just forgot, But so tonight I'm going to tell her, yeah, I opened those bottles up, and you just don't remember it. So I'm gonna lie to her. Look, we need to see beauty in other people because look, other people are not perfect. We choose people and try to protect perfect our ability to love and receive love. I want to share something real quickly with you. These are the stages of a relationship. This is how we do. This is how we get into a relationship. So the very first thing we do in a relationship is what? In there's 4 stages to a relationship. The first stage of a relationship is called sampling. What does that mean?
It's trying it out like a new car.
Trying it out, taking a look, seeing if that is going to work for us, right? This stage involves looking over the possibilities and then deciding on the person with whom to attempt to form a relationship. I'm gonna look around, I'm gonna look at that person, and I'm gonna say, okay, I might want to form a relationship with this person. Or maybe I want to form a relationship with that person. Would you do that any other place than in a romantic relationship? You certainly want to do it in a intimate relationship. But how about if you're going to work somewhere?
No, you're not supposed to have a date with coworkers.
You're not supposed to date coworkers. That's a good point. But look, before I came to work for Land Manor, I researched the company. I Googleized them, and I saw. Look, I wanted to know what they were about. I figured out when I got here. At that time, it was a lady named Miss Bean. I was talking to Miss Bean. I knew more about the company than she did because I had done that. But you look at this company, then you look at that company, and you look at that company, and you sample those companies. And if there's 4 or 5 companies out there, and you research them, and that one seems to have your ideals in place, then that's the one you see if you can't go to work for.
That's why I dated 3 guys.
Yeah.
Say it again.
That's why I was dating 3 guys.
That's why you were dating 3 different guys.
That's a good way to look at it. And wing them out.
Well, probably what this is talking about is that you look at them and see what they look like they're going to be, and then date just one of them. And if you find out, hey, you made a mistake, then you can
sample the other
dump that one, go to the other one.
I got down the one.
Yeah, this stage involves forecasting, thinking about how satisfying a relationship with this person might be. It's usually based on a small amount of information, not usually based on a lot of information, just a little bit. The conversation is usually kept at a very superficial level. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Yeah. You like dogs? Yeah. You like, all of those kinds, just real superficial stuff.
What do you do in your spare time?
Yeah, what do you do in your spare time? The second stage of this is bargaining. So what does that mean?
Compromising.
Compromising. That's a good way to look at that. And are you going to have to compromise in a relationship?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a real big thing that catches people, the inability or the unwillingness to compromise.
I like
And I tell you, I have to compromise all the time. You know, my wife just bought that new truck, and she got a 2025 truck, and guess what she wants to do?
Put mirrors on it.
Put mirrors on it. Well, we went and checked the mirrors out. You know how much the mirrors cost?
$800 a piece.
How much?
$800.
$800. That's what the first guy told us. But on those mirrors, they have special little cameras because the truck will tell you when you're leaving the road. It drives itself and stuff. $2,000 just for the mirrors. Just for the mirrors. And then it's going to cost another $1,000 or more just to put them on.
I learned how to put them on by myself.
No,
And they already probably have nice
don't know how to work
mirrors.
it.
No, it has some pretty nice mirrors on it. So, you know, I'm talking to her, and so she suffers from high anxiety. In October, we're going to take a trip. We're going to be pulling the trailer up, and she told me, it's going to make me feel more relaxed if I know you have good mirrors on the truck so you can see what you're doing. So
Manipulation.
Yeah.
that sounded like a little manipulation, but so I had to compromise. So what was the compromise we came up
You gonna get her them mirrors?
with? I am going to get her the mirror.
That ain't a compromise.
That's not a compromise. That is a total surrender.
Yeah.
She wants to watch it better when she do it.
Yeah. So look, this stage involves the bargaining stage. It involves negotiating mutually satisfying ways of interacting. This is what I like to do. Do you like to do that? Let's do that together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if that person doesn't like to do this, am I going to make them do that? Well, maybe I'll try to talk them into doing it once or twice to see if they like it. You know, it's like flying. If how would you like to go for a flight? I don't like to fly. Try it one time. I'll throw up in your airplane. Forget it. Had that happened, we're not doing that. Mm-mm. So, but you know, negotiating, trying to find things. If I can't find anything that you and I have in common, guess what? You might not be a good fit. You might not work too well. I've had to sit with people that were working for me and tell them, do you realize you're not a good fit for this company? I had a lady one time cussed out the guy who owned the company, the CEO, the man who owned the company. And he said, well, Dr. Garner, could you meet with her? Yeah. So you know what that meant, because HR followed me out. She went out, she was mad, and then I went out behind her, and HR followed me out because the boss man said, so HR came with me. So when she sat down in the office, I said, do you feel like you're a good fit for this company?
And she said,
yeah, she said, well, you can't fire me. I said, well, yes, I can. And so, you know, so you have to make sure that those are a good fit. You know, the couple is trying to get to know each other better. They're trying to pattern a way of being together. No, I was just wondering if you had she's checking out the clock. You know, I was just wondering if you have enough time to finish the group. Okay, all right. I don't want to get in the way of anything important. You know what I'm saying?
Still gonna do the cloud thing?
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna do that. Say that again.
I said your phone has interrupted the.
It has, and that is so sad. I should be fined or something. So we need the third thing is the commitment. At that stage, we're in a commitment. And this stage involves making a mutual decision to spend time together as exclusive partners. This stage becomes more intimate. Does that mean we're having sex?
No.
To some people it does, but not all the time. Intimate means that we are exclusive. Yeah, and we're exclusive. I'm not running around with 14 guys. I'm not running around with 13 girls. I am. You and I are. When we go to the movie, it's going to be the two of us. When we go to Hamilton's, or when I go to, it's going to be the two of us go to Hamilton. is going to be, we are exclusive with one another. We have, back in high school and stuff like that, we're going steady now. Back when I was a kid, I don't know if they do that anymore. We're courting a little bit. Yeah, we're going steady. So now we have this commitment. So the last thing is institutionalization. What does institutionalization mean?
You're institutionalized.
You're used to being, like in a.
It means you're going to prison. It's institutionalized. That's why. You're going to do something with that commitment. You're going to move that commitment to a deeper place, and you're going to do stuff like this is an extension of the commitment stage. It involves some formalization of the commitment, like get married up, and this formalization varies according to cultures and stuff like that. Now, there's some pitfalls in all these love relationships. And we're going to look at those probably tomorrow. But right now, we're going to weigh. Yes, ma'am.
I think I know that.
Okay, we're going to weigh a cloud. Now, if you, like I said, if you know how much cloud weighs over there at south, write it down, give it to Kim. So, how much does a cloud weigh?
0.
She said 0. Cloud don't weigh nothing. Cloud floating around, cloud floating, and cloud can't weigh nothing because it's floating around up there with
1 million pounds.
1 million pounds. What do you think?
0.1 kg.
0.1 kg.
Anywhere from 2 to 5 pounds.
Anywhere from 2 to 5 pounds.
5 ounces.
5 ounces.
1,000 pounds.
1,000 pounds. See what happened? Some people went out of here and been looking stuff up. Yeah, see, people been looking stuff up.
I think it doesn't weigh anything.
I think it doesn't weigh anything. Here's a really deal. When you're looking at a cloud,
1.1 million.
A
And I'm
cloud,
looking up with no phone.
a cloud weighs between 1 million,
That's crazy.
and some of those clouds can weigh up to 10 million pounds.
That's crazy.
How did they weigh the cloud?
And 1.1 million is an average of a cumulative. How can a cloud weigh that much and still float around?
Because of water.
Because of the gases.
It's full of water and all of that kind of stuff.
So when you hit it in the airplane.
Say that again.
So when you hit it in the airplane.
When you hit it in an airplane.
Yeah.
If you're in a very small airplane and you go through a cloud, it's very bumpety. It's because you're in. There's wind and there's water and there's all of that kind of stuff in a cloud, so it's kind of weird. Now the darker clouds, they have more water and stuff in them, and they weigh more. So, how does lightning work? Real quick.
How does it work?
Electrical charge.
What is it?
Friction?
It's an electrical charge. It's an electrical charge caused by the molecules coming together inside the cloud.
All right. Does it go from the ground up or from the sky down?
Goes from the ground up.
No, it goes from the
Goes from the ground up.
It goes from the ground up.
Lightning goes from the ground up. There is some lightning that flashes across the sky, but most of the lightning that you see that looks like it comes down from the clouds goes up to the clouds.
But we don't see it going up when we see it coming down.
It seems like it.
So what's
That's
my
not.
price?
All right, that's it for today.
Yeah, what is
Thank
her
you.
price? She doesn't.
Say it again. The price, she ain't gonna